May 2022. A private jet quietly lands outside Madrid. In a boardroom nobody was allowed to see, a 23-year-old kid holds a Real Madrid jersey, his name already written on it. Everyone in the room believes the deal is done. Florentino Perez has already told his closest circle to prepare the unveiling. And then, in the final hours, everything changes. Kylian Mbappé calls Paris Saint-Germain instead of Real Madrid. But what if that phone call had never happened? What if the jersey in his hands had been the last thing he'd ever need? Quick one. Comment yes or no. Would Mbappe have already won the Champions League by now? Let me take you back to that spring. PSG were desperate. Their project had spent hundreds of millions of euros and still had nothing tangible to show for it in Europe. Real Madrid, on the other hand, were a machine built for exactly one thing: the Champions League. They had just beaten Manchester City, then Chelsea, then Liverpool in the final, winning their 14th European title, with a squad built on the idea of winning no matter what it takes. Mbappé had grown up with this club. As a kid, his bedroom walls were covered in Real Madrid posters. This wasn't just a transfer, this was a destiny, finally arriving on schedule. Now imagine that alternate summer. The call to PSG never happens. Instead, Mbappe lands in Madrid, and 80,000 fans fill the Bernabeu just to watch him walk onto the pitch and wave. Real Madrid pair him with an attacking line that already includes Karim Benzema, voted the best player in the world. Vinicius Jr. rises on the opposite wing, and in the middle of it all, a year later, an 18-year-old midfielder named Jude Bellingham joins and completes the most terrifying attacking trio European football has ever seen. This is where things start to get wild. Subscribe so you don't miss what this front line does to the rest of Europe. The 2022-23 season begins, and it's immediately clear that something historic is happening. Mbappe's speed combines with Benzema's experience. Every match turns into a show. In La Liga, opposing defenses collapse one after another. By January, the Madrid press has already run the headline, "The best trio in history." But the real test comes in February in the Champions League round of 16. Facing them is the very club Mbappe rejected a year earlier, Paris Saint-Germain. Reinforced with Neymar, Messi, and a young star, PSG tried to fill the void Mbappe left behind. The first leg at the Bernabeu is unbelievably tense. In the 89th minute, with the score at 1-1, Mbappe meets the ball at the corner of the box and sends it into the net against his own former club. The stadium goes insane. He spreads his arms, closes his eyes, and stares at the camera without saying a word. This isn't just a goal, it's an answer. Real Madrid reach the quarterfinal, then the semifinal, then the final. On final night in Istanbul, Mbappe steps onto the pitch to complete his homecoming story. Throughout the match, they go ahead twice, and the opponent equalizes twice. In the final minute of extra time, with an assist from Bellingham, Mbappe sends the ball into the net one last time. Real Madrid win their 15th European title, and 24-year-old Mbappe lifts the first Champions League trophy of his career. Now think about how this would change history. In the real timeline, Mbappe spent years collecting domestic success at PSG while reaching the top of Europe far too late. That was the one major criticism that stuck to his career. But in this timeline, that criticism is completely erased while he's still just 24. And the Ballon d'Or debate shifts in a completely different direction too. Now it's not just about goals scored, but trophies won. On PSG's side, the story is much darker. Without Mbappe, the club can't take a single step closer to their Champions League dream. The patience of the Qatari owners runs out, and the project begins to be remembered as one of the most expensive failures in football history. But this sport has a harsh and beautiful truth. Maybe Real Madrid's stars become too many, and ego clashes tear the team apart from within. Maybe Bellingham's injury breaks up the trio in just their first season. Maybe the last scene we're left with is Mbappe crying in a final once again, this time not in a PSG jersey, but still without a trophy. Now imagine a player living through this at the very beginning, at just 23 years old. That's why I keep coming back to the same question. Was that single phone call in the summer of 2022 the most expensive decision in football history? Or did Mbappe already build his destiny in the right place? Now tell me, what do you think would have happened in this timeline? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. See you in the next videos.